here's a bigger question. Is this illegal? Are you technically stealing? Because TDS, you came down with a pretty big story yesterday.
Yes.
A lot of people have been talking about these bots over on X, and you have gotten to the bottom of it. Why don't you fill us in on this?
So basically, with the help of another YouTube channel called Upper Echelon, great guys over there, they helped me kind of do some node maps. And one of the things that we were able to find through the use of the node maps is we were able to trace back a lot of these hashtags and where they come from and what was the most common one. And we ended up tracing it back to a company which is called VNXNet. It's a Vietnam-based company, and they brag about using bots. They have a tool specifically made to do this, where they have a tool that automatically bypasses the CAPTCHAs and allows you to, that their whole goal is to get you monetized as quickly as possible so that you can use, as they say, it says here, you could reach 5 million views by interacting with famous people, or you can use the buff service. So they have a service with this tool that allows you to get monetized immediately. And then what they do is they do the use of bots that farm engagement. They literally have where they will be stealing money. They even brag that they're stealing it out of Musk's pocket. That's an actual quote from their Telegram.
Okay, so this is a Vietnam company, and I after watching your video, I went and did a little digging on this company, and I everything, it looks like it's in Vietnamese. I can't read it as an English speaker. So how does somebody somebody go in and find this company to begin with? Is there an English speaking side of the site that I missed, or what?
No, we actually translated it. So
okay. So what's stopping? Okay, so we see these. One of the things that you've continuously done over the past, I don't know, several months is you've been really digging in to where this all starts. So you're saying that there's like these master accounts, and then these smaller accounts that are just getting going. They more or less build up momentum within the algorithm. Am I kind of paraphrasing that correctly?
Well, here, I actually prepared one thing to show.
Okay.
Because I think this will make it very, very clear what these people do. This is from their own Twitter account. And again, I go into this more during the video that I have on the channel. But here you go. Okay. This, I think, describes what they do fairly well. You can see loading the thing. And you can see a ton of these payments popping up, one after another. And that's just from farming engagement. That's what they're doing. You can see he just clicked the button and all those payments are coming up. This was actually uploaded to their Twitter account. They were bragging about this. So see, if you had one account that was getting a ton of payments, it would probably set off something in Twitter's own like servers or whatever. I don't know how they would determine it, but these are all small amounts of payment at once. You can see they brag it's about $300 per payment. And so all he had to do was click a button and you'll see all of these payments popping up one after another. And they do that. I even have footage on my video of them scrolling through a couple different accounts at once. So this is a thing that they're doing. And if they're doing it, who's to say other people aren't doing it? If it's that easy to do and get away with it, then, I've been finding them interacting with Disney and other things. Like, who's to say Disney and other people can't do this too if this company can do it?
So how much does this service cost?
So that was the one thing we were unable to find, but you pay a flat rate for it. So I imagine you messaged them and they would tell you kind of what it was. But I would imagine it's not that expensive because I would believe that perhaps they get a cut of it, what you get. But the idea here is that I was actually able to prove that basically what happened was I found the original account that I found that was promoting Disney stock, which was called Boodle Zoop. That's what's kicked this whole thing off. I was able to prove that it's connected to VNXNet. And so that account had at the end, before it was gone, had about, actually, I didn't mention this in the video, but before the account actually got removed, it got removed actually immediately after I was on Side Scrollers the last time. So I don't know if that's coincidental or whatever, but It had 365 comments when I last saw it before the account was taken down. But we was able to prove in this video that this account was probably a effort by VNXNet to farm ad revenue. And you can see 1.5 million views. Like, all of those impressions are making them money. And all they need to do, it's not even difficult. They have a CAPTCHA solving automatically. They just have to push a button and they get paid. And that's it.
Which is what we're seeing here, right?
Exactly.
I'm sorry, that's what we're seeing.
And again, I want to make very clear, they are bragging about this on their Telegram. They say literally that you can do this and get money out of Musk's pocket. That's a direct quote.
Okay, so the idea is that really anybody can do this. Anybody reaches out to this company, they run more or less a script. So let's say I work with this company, okay, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to get to my engagement thresholds over on X, because the engagement thresholds on X for monetization is like 10 million. It's vast. Like, you have to have a pretty big following to be able to get to that amount. So they more or less. So I work with this company. I say, hey, let's do this. They then, through all of their sock accounts and these fake accounts, they then will boost a post that I have, pushing it out further, boosting its engagement to, like in this case of the Moodle Zoop over here, of 1.5 million views. Which then, once again, everything that's said in this post is just like, it's just like goobly gook. It's nothing, right? It's just a bunch of, corporate profits are still the top concern. Like, nobody speaks like this, right? This is very clearly some sort of bot service, but it has 1.5 million views and only 380 likes. Now, my pea brain doesn't quite understand this. How do you go from 380 likes to 1.5 million views
when it's not real people? That's the idea. I mean, keep in mind, we now have where you can get ads in the comments. They literally show videos on their YouTube channel where they literally have all these bots coming in and clicking on the ads and doing this, and they get paid for it. So literally, this is just making Twitter into an ATM for them. And keep in mind, if they can do this, and someone was asking in the chat, how do they solve the captchas automatically? They downloaded a tool. They have a tool. They use browsers to get around this, to get around the rate limits for Twitter. So they basically do that, and they use this tool to automatically solve the captchas when they get locked out of the accounts. And voila, it's an automated money farm.
Your assumption is that companies like Disney and EA and these companies that see high engagement, they are hiring companies, not necessarily this company, but companies like this, to do things like this to artificially boost engagement and drive conversation around their products?
Well, I mean, we've known they do this for quite some time. The difference has been we haven't had like receipts of it. Now, I can't 100% prove that Disney is behind this, but keep in mind, this is a company based out of Vietnam. Like, I can't imagine, I don't know how many people they're employed or whatever, but this is just a company that someone who decided to do this, and they're selling this tool. If it's that readily available and easy to do for this company, do you really want to tell me that nobody else is doing it, that no other company is just using this? I find it highly unlikely, especially since a lot of these accounts, like recently I found that a lot of accounts were promoting the new Doctor Who stuff. And one of the things that I found interesting is people always ask me, okay, well, why would they do this? It's just not just to farm money. What would be the other reason? Well, I noticed that one thing that was interesting for me, I paid attention. Grok is installed into Twitter now, and it summarizes certain things that are trending. And it was always summarizing Doctor Who, but for some reason, no matter how many people were talking about how it wasn't doing well or whatever, it still had a positive spin to it. They would say like, oh, it did badly and whatever, but critics are this, whatever. But now I look and I go, okay, there's a bunch of accounts promoting Jinx Monsoon or the show. So, does that influence Grok at all? Does Grok know that those aren't people? I don't know. I mean, I can't prove that there was a direct correlation, but that's a pretty good, determination. And I've actually seen people interact with this. So it would not be too difficult to do because, I mean, think about it. You can promote things and make money off of it technically. So there's double incentive to do this. You make money and you promote your product to other people.
So we're looking at not only just promoting your stuff, but also really forcing a narrative. Because as you said, you search something on Gronk. Is it Gronk or Gronk? Whatever it is, the AI version of X, and they search something, you'll find a positive narrative based off of the overwhelming push from these bots and these nodes and that you're speaking about, these accounts. That's so yeah, man. There's actually a more nefarious. Now, here's a bigger question: is this illegal? Are you technically stealing? Is this something like morally, I guess? Because I mean, like Matthew's like, hey, what's the name of this company? I'd like to make some free money for some free effortless money, right? I think everyone's kind of wondering that, like, well, is there anything wrong with this? Can this actually come back to bite you in the butt in any way, shape, or form?
I imagine it could. I mean, the term that I would use and the term that, Upper Echelon used in his video as well is ad fraud, because that's technically what is going on. Now, is there a direct rule against this? No. Is there a case to be made where this could be illegal for certain reasons? Yes. Now, the biggest part here, could this come back to bite you in the butt? Actually, yes. And I'll tell you how. A lot of people think that Twitter is just infested with bots and they have no problems and no way of dealing with it. Wrong. They have tons of ways of dealing with it. I actually made an account to follow a lot of these accounts so I could keep tabs on what they were doing. Not only did I get locked out multiple times because I hit a follower cap or they found I had suspicious behavior, but they knew very quickly, within a couple minutes, that something was wrong with my account. Now, they have these captcha solving programs to get around this, right? But think about it. Twitter has all these things implemented and they're not doing anything. So it makes me wonder, like, okay, we understand that Elon wants people to invest advertising money into Twitter. So he keeps saying how the impressions are going up, right? What evidence do we have of this? How do we know it's not just a bunch of bots? And if it's a bunch of bots and that convinces an advertiser, it's a never ending cycle. Think about it. Bunch of bots boost the analytics. Elon Musk says, look, we're doing better. A new advertiser comes in, right? And then, okay, now the bots are boosting that advertisement. The advertiser gets, I guess, paid to some degree. I guess there's some cut there, and they make money off of it, and Elon Musk makes money off of it too. So, I mean, I want to hope. I really want to hope, and I want to give benefit of the doubt to Elon for this. But what are we supposed to look at? A certain point, you look at this and go, what's going on, and why is it being allowed to continue? And that's if Elon Musk was here, and this is something I actually wanted to do. I'm going to sidetrack just for a second. If Elon Musk was watching this, there's one thing that I'd want to ask him here. What are you hoping to accomplish from this? You're going to have a giant platform full of bots and less people, because the more bots you allow to run rampant on here, the less people are going to remain here. So what is your end goal? Just making a money farm and you hope nobody gets away with it? I really hope that's not the case. I really do.
Well, there's a couple layers to this, right? You need to pay the $8-9 a month, whatever it is, for Twitter Blue, right? To have that account first and foremost before you can be eligible for monetization, and then you got to pay this service on top of that to make money. I don't know. I think most people would take $300 a month, and then they say, like, let Elon figure it out. You know what I mean?
That's $300 a month if you have one account. If you have 10 accounts, suddenly now you're making a bunch more. If you have 20 accounts, you're making a bunch more. Think about it. And I think I can tell you from the node graph in the video, if you had to ask me how many of these accounts are out there, I would say a couple 100,000, easy.
Wow. Okay. It looks like we got our own little cottage industry here. We can start up side scrollers bots coming soon, which will be great. Wow, man. Well, it's really really interesting for sure. So thank you very much for that. I'm sure you'll have more information on this as we go. And have you heard anything from Elon on this at all?
No, he has yet to acknowledge me in any possible way. I will say I find it interesting that sometimes when I post about certain bots, they suddenly my wife is saying you need to upgrade the bots to add the in master of the DDS, because basically I want to hope that things are going to change here, but like I don't know. I really hope that something changes, but Elon hasn't acknowledged me. He hasn't done anything. He has so a lot of the accounts that I promote that or talk about get suspended. They do. The Moodle Zoop one was gone after side scrollers. A couple ones promoting Star Wars Outlaws were also gone, but no acknowledgement, none. And I don't necessarily need it, but it would be cool, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Jeremy comes in and says, okay, I'll earn an extra 6K a month. Right. Right. All right. Well, I need to do a little bit of digging here and research. Well, I appreciate the insight on this, and everyone can go check out the video that she made. It's really well done. It's only about 7.5 minutes long over on the Gothic Therapy channel. You guys go find that over there. Make sure you guys go subscribe and check out all the great work that Master of the TDS is doing over there. I think it's really important that you guys do, and go watch the video for yourself. You can see it's doing very well. And so, yeah, please go check it out and support it, which is great work, TDS. Appreciate that, man.